The Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, has visited wounded Nigerian troops at the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital in Kaduna. The purpose of this, according to Prince Harry, is to uplift the spirits of the wounded troops and reassure them that despite their injuries, this life is still worth living. Lupe Assam reports.
Zazzau cultural troops arrive early to welcome the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, to Kaduna State. The governor is also on ground to welcome the British Prince, who is on a 3-day unofficial visit to Nigeria. His stopover in Kaduna is to encourage Nigerian troops who were wounded across various theaters of operations. Last year, a couple of them had attended the Invictus Games in Germany, which he founded. Governor Sani applauded the prince for his visionary creation of the Invictus Games, which have brought hope to the injured soldiers.
We are grateful for your work toward creating a hub dedicated to the welfare of personnel of our armed forces. Your visit is evidence of your commitment to inspiring recovery, supporting rehabilitation, and broadening respect of our brave troops.
The aim of his visit, he says, is to further build on the success of the Invictus Games and to lift the spirits of wounded soldiers.
When you talk about lifting the spirits, that is what we are here to do, and we will build on that morale and show that anyone that is caught in the line of fire, that their life, despite injury, is not over, and that they and their families can continue on, and that sport will be a very useful way for rehabilitation.
At the 44 Nigerian Army Reference Hospital, he first met with senior Nigerian Army officers, but members of the press were restricted from gaining access to his meeting with the injured troops.
We don't need cameras inside.
Yeah, it is a moral booster, you know, especially to our troops. It has shown that despite the fact that they have fought for their country and they have lost some aspects of their body or they sustained injury, does not mean they are written up.
Earlier at Kashim Ibrahim House, the British prince was adorned in traditional northern Nigerian attire. He was also given a matching cap to give him the complete Ariwa look.
As Prince Harry departs, he leaves a sense of solidarity among the wounded troops, reminding everyone of the sacrifices they've made to protect their nation. Lupe Assam, TVC News, Kaduna.
Global Affairs analyst Gbenga Onifade joins me for more on this story. Mr. Onifade, the couple are back on the world stage 4 years after they left working royal life. But it looks a lot like a royal tour here in Nigeria. I'm sure you saw the prince inspect the guard of honor when he met the chief of defense staff and all the cultural dance and display to welcome them. What's the buzz around the visit like in the UK, considering they haven't been working royals for a few years now?
I mean, it's not actually been, first of all, good evening. In the UK, it's not actually been really mentioned. It's been a lot muted. As you can see, I think, just as it is in Nigeria, I think people are a lot more focused on their pockets, which is pinching. And of course, with the new news bulletin, which just came out today with the UK coming out of recession. So it's actually been quite muted. And it's quite strange, actually. If you trail through the major organizations, it's not a front page news. I think the discord within the royal family is a lot more concerning for with the UK. With Prince Charles making his first public appearance post diagnosis with cancer, and of course Prince Harry in the UK, and they're not they didn't actually meet publicly. So. That was actually taking a more footstool, because people are more familiar and they want the royal grandstand to take precedence over everything else. So yeah, it's not actually. So I will say, while it's actually been in the news, but it's a lot muted, and you hear the breaking news, and that actually is, he wasn't one of the first top 3 pages or news headlines which has been announced. So unfortunately. While it's a big deal, but it's not what they don't want it to be. I think people are more focused on the personal and the family royal life than the announcement or the visit to Nigeria. And of course, being an unofficial tour anyway. So again, which of course means, it's not being sponsored by the government here anyway. So it's not a big deal per se.
So the Nigerian troops participated in the Invictus game for the first time last year. And we had the Chief of Defense Staff today acknowledging that it brought a smile to their faces. What do you make of this sports recovery program and Prince Harry's efforts at rehabilitating injured troops, particularly its potential impact on the quality of welfare available to them here in Nigeria?
Oh, I personally think it's a big deal. Nigeria need this, and who can it be bigger? Who could be bigger than Prince Harry? Who actually has been a veteran himself. I mean, of course, he's on the front line in Afghanistan. A few years ago. So, and he knows what mental health seems to be like. Of course, again, as Nigerian myself, I will say. Mental health is not what we often talk about. It's great to see that of late it's been coming out to the fore. And of course, Nigeria, even though we haven't actually been engaged in a war outside, I think there's been an internal war, and I think this is a big deal. This is a big morale booster. We've had Boko Haram, which Nigeria is fighting. It's been trying to come back. The odd wins have been made, which has not been announced. And of course, they don't get celebrated enough. I think in Nigeria, and of course with the state of the economy, it's not just about the monetary aspect. I think there could be a win which could come from outside, and it could be in the presence of in the name of Prince Harry coming out, and of course the wife, who is 43% Nigerian, which she had to reveal at the event. I think it's a big deal, and that is actually great news, and it's a win, I will say, for the government.
Well, it's homecoming for Meghan as well. Thank you for talking to us, Global Affairs Analyst Gbenga, Onifade.
Thanks for having me.